Hey guys, welcome to today's FindTheBestCarPrice.com video. This is the 2022 Honda Accord Sport. It has a sticker price of $30,435. There are no changes for 2022 other than the fact that there is a special edition available. Tell me down in the comments section if you know exactly what that means. Let's take a look at this Accord. One of the most common questions I receive in these videos is what percentage of tint is on these windows. So here's the answer to that. 40% in the front, 25% here on the rear side windows, and 12% here on the back window. This Accord has an exterior color of lunar silver metallic and a black interior. We'll take a look at that shortly. Of course, you're going to see LED lights all over this vehicle, and I really like the design here, just the overall layout of the headlights right here, just the way everything flows, the direction of the headlights here, just the way they're kind of curved back. Really, even though this isn't out of the ordinary on these cars, it fits the sport trim level very well. LED daytime running lights, and down here on the bottom portion of the bumper, hopefully I'm not blinding you on the screen, the LED fog lights. And with that bezel around the lights being black like that is, that's really just the perfect match for a sporty look. And of course, just an overall look here at the front end of the Accord. And you're looking at, like I said, standard safety features. So you're going to have Honda sensing, the lane keeping assist, adaptive cruise control, all of those great features, and really just an overall sporty look with just the lines of the vehicle because of what you have here with the lines on the hood. And while the middle is pretty flat, depending on how you look at it, there are some lines right here that just kind of go straight at the middle. It's not too much and it's not too little. I think that's just right. Those are 19-inch wheels. Very sporty look. The black mirrors, which really fits perfectly, especially with the tinted windows. A little bit of chrome trim around the top of the windows right there. For those of you who ask often about the turn signal indicators being built into the side view mirrors, well, obviously, I don't have to give you the answer to that. Not on this particular trim level. Got the shark fin antenna on the top, and just to show you what's here, this is, of course, how you open the gas door. Just going to push that open, capless fuel fill, and the black spoiler back here. Honestly, I think that is the perfect size for this car. Not too big, not too small, but I like that black color right there. It just sets it off with this lunar silver, really a perfect match. And then you have really what amounts to decorative exhaust finishers because they don't really actually have anything connected to them, but it does give a nice look here on the rear of the Accord. And here under the hood of the front wheel drive Accord, hopefully we'll see all-wheel drive when the next generation arrives down the road, but for now, this is what we have. The 1.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder on the sport trim level, 192 horsepower, mated to a single-speed CVT. And the Honda CVT is one of the most well-behaved CVTs in the industry of any vehicle I have driven. Now, for those who might say 192 horsepower is not enough, well, obviously you have options in that area. You can step up to the 252 horsepower 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, but if you want to have the best gas mileage available for your Accord, here are the numbers for the 1.5 liter. 29 miles per gallon estimated city, 35 on the highway, 32 combined. And according to Honda, per every 100 miles you drive, you should burn 3.1 gallons of gas. And tell me down in the comments section as we take a quick look at the rear taillights here, what do a lot of people think those look like? Tell me if you know. And we'll open the trunk here and talk a little bit about cargo space. Like I said, there's a lot of space within the interior of this vehicle. You also have 16.7 cubic feet of cargo space, and it's gonna be kind of hard for me to do one-handed, but trust me when I tell you there is a spare tire located here and all the tools to change it underneath the floor. Now, to let your rear seats down, to maximize your cargo space, you're gonna pull on that release and then just come right in here and just pull down on the seat. Of course, that works on both sides, just so you know. And a quick look at the remote for this 2022 Accord. There's no changes, but a common question I'm asked on these lower trim levels such as the Sport, does it have remote start? Well, you can see it's right here on the bottom portion on the left-hand side. So yes, remote start is on this vehicle. That is a standard feature, a good feature by the way. And just taking a quick look here at the door panel, there's your door bin right there. You could put a bottle in here and a reasonable amount of snacks and whatever you may want. Fruit snacks, I don't know, beef jerky, depending on if you're health conscious or not. And just a quick look here into the rear seat area real quick, just to show you what's here. Gonna have that fold down armrest with the built-in cup holders. And then as you can see, you've got dual USB ports here on the rear, a little bit of storage space right here. You can actually put your cell phone down there, whatever you wanted, so you can see what's here. As we begin the interior tour in the front seat, you might say, Tom, what is the price of this Accord Sport for 2022? As this model is optioned out, $30,430. You're gonna find good, solid materials, really some upgraded materials here. Definitely better than some of what I've seen in the competition, so I'd say that definitely helps to make this car worth the price. And just a look at the leather trimmed seats here, a nice look, and they are comfortable. As you can see, you have a power seat here on the passenger side, which obviously means you're going to have the same thing on the driver's side. We'll take a quick look into the interior of the glove box right there. A reasonable amount of space. And just a quick look in here through the driver's side door. Of course, you're not going to keep this sticker on for long, but with the freshly tinted windows, obviously we don't need to roll those down. The functionality for controlling the power side view mirrors, and like I said, good materials throughout that are definitely going to last the life of your Accord. There is the button for opening the trunk from the driver's compartment if you wanted to, and I didn't lie, did I? You do have a power driver's seat, lumbar support, all that good stuff. And you also have a fully adjustable, it is manually adjustable, tilt and telescopically steering wheel. And let's hop inside here. We're gonna hit the push button start, and just a quick look at the dashboard. Nicely laid out, not too much information to deal with. So for the purist out there, this might be a really good thing. Here are your steering wheel mounted controls. Everything pretty simple to use. Shifter paddles on the steering wheel. Now this is a CVT transmission in this model, so it kind of mimics the changing of gears. And over here on the left-hand side of the steering wheel, if you don't know what this is, if you've never been able to afford this on your vehicle, that's the turn signal lever. So what happens when you're changing lanes to the right or turning to the right, you push it into the up position. And the same thing when you're changing lanes to the left or turning to the left, and you'll see the corresponding arrows for what you're doing. And that does that on the outside of the car as well, and lets people around you know what you're doing. Imagine the novelty of that. And like I said, this is where you control the functionality for your headlights. Maybe I didn't say that, but it is what it is. I said it now. So you're going to turn on and off. You can set it to automatic functionality for your front fog lights, all that good stuff. Very easy to use. Over here on the right hand side, can't say anything smart aleck about that, but there is the control for your windshield wipers and their functionality, and a very easy to use infotainment system here. I can't say that enough, because it is true that Honda has one of the best in the industry. Simple to use, simple to learn. If you've never had anything like this, don't be afraid to buy a 22 Accord and try that out. And here is what the rear view camera looks like. And I know on the screen right now, it's kind of flashing and flickering. That's because of the shutter speed of my GoPro that I'm using to film this video. So don't worry, that's nothing going on with the car itself. So as you can see, there are all of the different features there. And of course, you can go in to a lot of different areas and do a lot of different things, make a lot of changes and settings, and go in and look at whatever you really want to. A lot of great features and functionality here. And if you don't want to use the touchscreen portion, of course, you've got the buttons here on each side. And for those who are fans of knobs for controlling the radio, the volume, and changing station and all that stuff, well, there you go. Something we learned with the 2021 version of the Honda Ridgeline. People like that knob. And you're going to have all the functionality here for the air conditioning and even heated seats. Heated only, which is good for this time of the year. Even here in Northwest Louisiana, it can get cold. And 12-volt power outlet down here. Let's see if I can get my hand around that shifter, and you can see your USB ports. So you're gonna have a total of 4 USB ports in this model. Now you don't have wireless charging, but obviously that is available. Let's turn that down. I accidentally hit that, I guess. And if you want to conceal that away, there you go. You can do that. And if you're not a fan of the push button shifter, good news. You don't have a push button shifter here. That is a good thing. And then, of course, you have functionality here for your driving modes: Econ mode, Sport mode. If you want to turn the auto stop start feature off, which has a lot of advantages to turn off, there is how you do that. Your power parking brake and brake hold mode, so that when you come to a complete stop, you can take your foot off the brake if you want to, and the car won't move again until you touch the gas pedal. Pretty self-explanatory here, but there are the cup holders. Let's see if I can do this without making too big of an issue of getting my arm in the scene. You can take this tray out right here if you want to maximize your space within the interior of the console. And as you can see, down here you have another 12-volt power outlet. When it comes to driving the Accord, like I said earlier, it has a fun, sporty feel to it. So that really makes the driving experience quite a lot of fun. And something else that makes it fun to drive, especially if it's going to be your daily driver, is the fact that it does have a comfortable ride. It's not a harsh ride quality. Even in sport mode, you don't have all the changes you have with a lot of high-performance sports cars. And so ultimately, I really like that. Now, one thing I'm going to do, I'm driving in sport mode right now. Let's say that correctly. We're on the road driving in sport mode. Let me change over to Econ mode. And as I do that on the fly, basically, as I'm driving down the road or in motion, in other words, I can actually tell a difference. So I'm cruising along at about 30 miles per hour or so. I can tell the difference when I change from sport mode to Econ mode. But obviously it just depends on your personal preference. But the handling characteristics overall nice. You do have the leather wrapped steering wheel that is nice and comfortable and responsive. And let's just say you're one of those people that maybe hasn't had a new car in, say, 20 or 30 years. One thing that's different here that you will notice if you buy one of these Accords or any other modern day vehicle for that example is the fact that a front wheel drive car does not handle the way it used to. It used to be that when you were driving front wheel drive, you could definitely tell that you were. Now, not so much, at least on most vehicles. And so it actually handles better, it drives better, it just doesn't have that kind of old school front wheel drive experience. And even though I know a lot of people are probably going to say 192 horsepower is not enough, I can tell you right now, not a problem accelerating down the road, getting up to highway speeds. It's absolutely no problem whatsoever. And looking at the dashboard, I do like the fact that you have the analog speedometer. You also have the digital speedometer if you wish to use that. And the brake pedal, here's things that a lot of people don't think about necessarily, and it really is going to depend on what you're coming out of. But in the case of this particular model, the brake pedal is actually really easy to get used to. It's not overly aggressive. It doesn't have a mushy feel to it. It's very well balanced and really very easy to control. So if you have been in a vehicle maybe that is overly aggressive on the brakes, well, this isn't going to be a problem here. And I'm just cruising down the road, doing a little over the speed limit, no problems. Of course, I know it's kind of hard to really say much beyond just having myself in the vehicle. So a lot of people might wonder, how would the Accord drive down the road if you had a full load of passengers? Well, I can't say for sure because obviously I don't have that experience, but I think it would be just fine. Very easy vehicle to see out of. You really don't have any bad blind spots, but you do have all of those great safety features that are going to help keep you and your passengers safe no matter where you go. It just gives that peace of mind. And I know for myself, I've been driving since I was a teenager, which was a few years ago, give or take a little bit. I still look at my blind spot and do all that kind of stuff, but it's good to have those additional safety features when you're driving. So overall, I must say, the Accord for 2022, while there are no significant changes, is definitely a very enjoyable vehicle to drive. Let's go ahead and get around this slower moving traffic. Not going to be a hard thing to do. Like I said, acceleration horsepower, even at 192 horsepower, is not a problem. To learn more about the model in today's video, visit the link in the description for a detailed comparison between trims and pricing for the vehicle we featured or any other vehicle you are interested in. These pages feature information such as our recommended trim level based on price, value, and features. Thank you for taking the time to watch today's video. We look forward to seeing you next time.